Kate Mila Falcher, welcome to Irish Granny Helen. Welcome to Debbra Lupien, voice of the Akashic Records. Welcome to Nate of the Third Wish. And why are you guys in the same room?
Well, because we're in the same place.
Okay. So this is so wonderful. To have you guys together, and I think you should explain to everybody how that happened. Did you teleport?
Yeah, we use AI, and we're able to bring us together. And what it feels like we're in the same place, we're not exactly in the same place. Have you noticed that?
People are going to believe that. That's the sad thing. People are going to believe that. So what's going on here?
We are in the same place. We are in my home, and Deborah been visiting. So why are you visiting Portugal?
So I came to Portugal to walk the Camino, Santiago, which is a trail that's a pilgrimage that people have done since I think like 300 BC or something. They've done it a really long time.
Who is this guy? Who is the saint? I don't know anything about him.
St. James.
Like the apostle?
Yeah, the apostle St. James.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, many, many years ago, when he died, he was put into a stone boat. Explain that one to me. And the boat floated from wherever he died to the land over there in Spain. And they took the body and they made a chapel, a memorial. And ever since then, people have been traveling to Santiago to see his body.
The stone boat thing it sounds weird, right? But actually, think about the big barges. Think about all those heavy ships that are out there. How do they stay afloat? It's got to do with displacement of water. Now, I flunked physics, so I don't really know what that means. I just know that's the answer because I took the test so many times. It's displacement of water. So whatever. You can get anything to float if you have enough area on the surface of the water, I think. Don't hold me to it.
Why you have those big cruise ships that are so heavy float?
Yeah. Because they have a footprint. Their footprint in the water is big enough. I think that's why. I don't know. You wouldn't catch me depending on it.
I say cruise ship because I know you love them, so that's why.
I wouldn't depend on it. I'll tell you what. So I am really interested in the actual trip. So let's talk about the physical part. I am impressed that you were willing to do that lengthy of a walk, and you were telling us that part of it is cobblestones.
A lot of it is cobblestones. Yes,
that sucks. That's terrible.
So
it's really bad for your ankles.
Where you started, though. So the reason I'm here with Nate is because I chose to do the Portuguese way. There's many pilgrimage paths you can take. The most common one starts in France, but I chose to do this portion in Portugal. And if I'm going to be in the country, I'm going to meet Nate.
Why would you not meet the national celebrity?
That's right.
I mean,
oh my God. You're just lucky Nietzsche didn't show up with a whole string of pilgrims when they heard she was on her way to meet you, that they came with her. I can imagine.
It's a gathering of light workers, and that's what it is. And that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah. For some, people walk it for all different reasons.
Yes.
For me, it was definitely spiritual. And for many of them, it's just a challenge, something they want to do. It sounds interesting. They might have seen the movie The Way with Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
They might have read the book by Shirley MacLaine where she walked it, and she was tormented by paparazzi the whole time she was walking it. It was her
that's absurd, isn't it? That's terrible. You were talking about just the exhaustion of having to go from cobblestones to dirt to tarmac, I guess, and you had to go through fields and that kind of thing. So physically, it's arduous. Was it hot?
Part of it was hot. Yeah, I had a cloth around my neck at all times to mop my face because I don't glow. I sweat.
Well, what my grandmother used to say. My grandmother used to say that, let me get this in the right order. Pigs sweat. Men perspire. Ladies glow.
Yeah.
You mean human, not men, humans.
Yeah.
No, men, because women don't perspire, they glow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't get that in the first
So,
place.
like glowing like a pig,
Yeah, okay.
This
Did you
one,
feel like glowing?
I felt like melting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is for me. I'm melting. Good thing about it is you lose a little bit of water weight that way.
Did you bring the right kind of clothes for it?
Oh yeah, we researched this, and I was working out for about 6 weeks ahead of time, doing about 10 miles a day, so that I could do it because we figured about 10 miles a day. But the difference from walking 10 miles on my track pad, I have one of those walking pads, and walking on the cobblestones is way different. So, like by day 3, we're going into this town, Redondelo in Spain, and it's got this slanted road that goes, you're up on the mountain and you're going to go down into the valley to the town to stay that night. The last half mile was like, I swear, 25 to 30-degree angle the whole way down. And it's so steep that they did it in hairpins so that they could break it up. It reminded me a lot of Lombard Street in San Francisco, except it was, a little smoother. It was dangerous walking down. I was terrified I was going to fall. By the time I got through that, we still had like 3 miles to go to get to our hotel. I was practically in tears. My feet were so painful, I could barely move. That was the day from hell.
God, I don't know. You're making this sound really enticing.
Yeah, that part of it was, but the whole thing is, you've got the one side where you're exhilarated because you're there, you're doing it, it's living that dream and knowing there's a greater purpose, because I knew there was a reason I was being called to do this. And then having to deal with the physical aspects of it. You just do the best you can. You focus on the positive. But I have, on the flip side of that, I got my miracle that I was hoping for. I've not worn hearing aids since I left home. I can hear you perfectly fine. I've not had dizzy spells.
It's unbelievable.
Do you think something happened to you along the path?
I think I got the miracle the angels have been promising me, that either it was ascension symptoms that have suddenly stopped, or it's a healing, because that noise I had in my head where I couldn't hear, sometimes I had to use closed captions. I couldn't hear even with hearing aids. That noise went away.
When did it get better? What point along the way?
Somewhere after we got on the plane. I'm not sure exactly when, but the noise in my head stopped. I have peace in my brain for the first time in more than a year.
Wow.
It was driving me mad. It was all I could do to function with that noise, because it's like static constantly ringing underneath of it. And then layered on top of that, sometimes I'm hearing papa, and then bam, 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 bass drums. All that was happening in my head.
Yeah.
And I was still functioning, kind of. It's all gone.
I mean, look at the angelic miracle that happened.
And I don't think the reason I was called to do this was just about me. It's bigger than that.
Much bigger.
There's more to it. It's still revealing itself. So there will be more to come.
I mean, just realize like the miracles and the manifestation and the ascension that you had through this experience. And usually it goes on for, I mean, up to a year possibly. So can you imagine what else might come to you?
I don't know. And the first message I channeled when I got back, which was last week's Metatron message, was so powerful. You could feel the difference in the energy.
Wow.
Oh. Did you went to the shrine?
We did, yeah.
Did you have any kind of experience there?
No, because there were too many people around, and it's not important. I mean, they've told me it's not where you're at, it's the state that you're in, the receiving state. You could be anywhere and have the experience, but that helps you to focus. But the ironic thing, we never did see the apostle's body. We looked all over that cathedral. We looked at every little nook and corner. I don't know if he was in the construction part. Maybe we didn't see him. They kept telling us it's there, go see it, but we never did see it.
Well, he's been dead a long time.
He was elusive. Well, I've seen it on video. I've seen people go and see the body. In fact, they have this tradition. This one guy talked about it. When you go in the door and you're right there approaching the saint's preserved body, you're supposed to get on your knees and walk from the doorway to the vestibule area on your knees.
Can you wear knee pads maybe so it's not as painful?
I would have to do that, but
Yeah.
no, most people don't do it on their knees.
I'd have to opt for going to hell because I can't get down on my knees. I would never get up off the ground again. When we were in Rome, we saw people in this one church. There were steps inside the church that ostensibly came from Jerusalem and Jesus on his way to the crucifixion, right? They pulled up these steps. That's the story. And people actually were climbing up these steps on their knees.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Helen, I don't know what you had planned for this particular show, but I feel like it would make sense maybe to pull a few cards to see from your side and from my side what we see for Debra's experience overall.
Okay, yeah, but I have a couple more questions.
Well,
like,
but I was just thinking, sorry to.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I thought we were
close with a mini reading.
I thought we were going to. I just assumed.
Right.
I assume a lot of stuff. So Deborah, did you before you went on the trip, did you feel some sort of connection to St. James?
No, not St. James, but doing the pilgrimage. I had been attracted to it for a number of years, but I decided I was too old and too fat and I was never going to get to do it. And then I stumbled on the information that you only have to do 100 kilometers because the famous one is from France, which is about 600 kilometers. And you've got to climb the Pyrenees, and it's like 2 days of going. No way can I do that at this stage in my life. But then I learned you just do the 100 and you've got other options. You can go from many countries. In fact, there's one from Ireland. There are many routes. So I chose the
You have to walk on water to get across.
Well, the plane did that.
I mean, there's already been one miracle. What about a second one?
Yeah. No, they actually, you can take a boat.
I'm not volunteering. It's astounding to me that people do this, that you would go across the mountains and do it, that you would go from a different country, on not another continent, but across water. I can't believe it. I always opt for the physically least challenging option, always, in anything I do, Yeah.
We did.
That's for each day.
100 kilometers is like 65 miles. And I figured, if you do 10 miles a day, we got this thing licked. But the problem is you do your 10 miles on the trail, and then you get to town and you find out you got 2 or 3 more miles to get to your lodging and your food. So it was never just 10 miles.
Yes.
So they weren't small.
Well, if I had known all of that, I probably would have selected towns where we were maybe only walking 7 miles and broken it up into more days. But then, you see, we started it on a Monday, and Sunday was our 39th anniversary. So the goal was that we would walk into Santiago for the anniversary, which we did do. But in order to do that, we actually took a train for 2 portions because my feet were just dead at that point. I couldn't really physically walk. And when I talked to the angels and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm really trying to do my best here. And they're like, what are you, crazy? We didn't tell you that you were supposed to torture yourself. The whole idea was to make the journey, and it's perfectly okay if you took public transportation the whole way. You don't have to walk any of it to do the pilgrimage. And I think that's the most important thing I want people to get. Because I heard from a lot of people saying, we're cheering you on. We wanted to do it, but we can't do it anymore. And it's like, well, you can't do it the traditional way. But if you allow yourself to be creative, you can take rest days. You don't have to do it consecutively. True. And as Nate was telling us earlier,
what was I saying?
About you had a client who's...
Oh, I have a client, absolutely, who's decided to every year do a small portion. And so, but, after a number of years, he would have walked the whole Camino. Just by adding up. You know, it's almost like when you record a video and then a second video and you join them together, you have the complete video. I'm not referring to anything that has happened so far here.
We won't discuss technical issues here. It's an
But
old,
it's
sad tale.
it's technically possible. I mean, I've heard also like you have companies, private companies that you walk and they carry your luggage for
Yes.
you. So you
I
don't
think
have
those
because
are called Sherpas.
There is a
Well,
Sherpa company. Yes, they
yeah.
call themselves Sherpas.
or
They
drive.
do? I was kidding.
They- yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and so because I mean that I've never done it, but I assume
Mhm.
the luggage part is a big part.
Well, some people don't carry the traditional backpack. They do pay the company to take it from town to
Yeah.
town. When they get to their hotel or
It's
albergue, if
there.
they're staying there, it's waiting for them when they get there. So there's all
Wonder how
kinds
much that costs. Do you know how
It's like
much?
€5 a day.
Oh, that's not bad.
No,
So
At
€5
that
a day,
rate, it
or
could carry me.
yeah, well, we carried our backpacks. We were faithful about doing that. And oh my God, my shoulders were a wreck after that. It really hurt because I didn't have the right backpack. But you do it, you make it work, you get through and you focus on the positive. And it's worth
I'm
it.
fascinated.
for sure.
I'm fascinated by people's accounts of things that they've done like that. I never want that kind of a physical challenge. Path of Least Resistance is my favorite Camino, but there's a lot of good books out there about different challenges that people have undertaken. And it's always fascinating to me because I keep trying to understand why you would take something like this on, right? So Canterbury Tales, that comes to mind immediately, right? And then I would think I was telling you earlier about a walk in the woods, the Appalachian Trail, Bill Bryson and his friend, great book. There was a young woman in my hometown who was a bicycle rider. Mm-hmm. And in the early to mid 70s, she and her husband rode bikes around the world. And it's called Miles from Nowhere. And if you ever have the chance to read that book, I recommend it. And so sad, when she got back home to Santa Barbara, she was riding her bike one day and got hit by a car and killed.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
And how ironic. She went over the Himalayas. She went all across Asia and Europe. They went literally around the world. And it was before the time of electronics, before communication was as more straightforward as it is now. Really interesting stories. Another guy that does not walking a trail, but traveling in the same level of accommodation that a native person of the country would. So nothing special. You're not on vacation. You're not indulging yourself, is Paul Theroux. Justin Theroux, he makes documentaries, or he's an actor. There's a couple. Paul Theroux, the writer, had like 7 children, and they all do something big and splashy. But he's a writer, and he's written all these books over the years, traveling alone in foreign countries, not speaking the language, not knowing anybody. And he's a bit of a misanthrope. So, you get to hear his internal dialogue while he makes fun of people, not because of their nationality, not because of anything like that, but because of the conversation they're having with each other. Look at him being grumpy, or look at her being demanding, or this woman is slapping her child, or just interesting observations about human behavior. He's a crotchety old man no matter where he goes, and his books are really, really, really interesting. He took a train across China called Riding the Iron Rooster before China was opened up to Western tourism. So anyway, I'm getting off track. Pardon the pun, getting off track here. But I still think you should write a book. Did you keep a diary?
I didn't. I have a few notes.
Write
Oh,
it down now before you forget. Write it all
well,
down.
when I leave Lisbon, we're going for almost 2 weeks to northern Portugal for some quiet time to a rural place. We're just going to be there. I'm hoping to do some writing and
Oh,
reflecting
that sounds
because there's so
amazing.
many memories that, like, one time we're walking along this cobblestone and we're crossing this stone bridge, and it's a dirt track. I found a horseshoe.
Oh, that's a lot of luck.
Now I used to be a barefoot horse trimmer. I trimmed hooves because I don't believe in shoes. So it's really ironic I found a horseshoe, but it's luck. Come on, what are the odds you're
I
gonna
mean,
find
it's
a horseshoe
extreme luck.
on the Camino? So I took it with me. David was, what do you want that thing for? I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I have to take this.
Of
It's a
course.
gift. There's a reason I found it. Because what are the odds I would have even seen it?
It's
Can you take it
unbelievable.
on the airplane? Is that oh? I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's still got nails in it, but I can pull the nails out, and why would they care? It's just a piece of metal. But yeah, so lots of little things like that, and the people we encountered. There was this lovely German man we met who kept trying to carry our luggage for us because these two old people and we need help, right? And it's like, no, you're walking your own Camino. We don't want to interfere. Thank you. It's really lovely. And the people, I've found the people in Portugal friendlier, speak English more
Yeah.
frequently, more flexible, as opposed to Spain. They were a little more closed up and not quite as friendly and didn't speak as much English. It was really interesting contrast. My first time in Europe, so this is all new to me. It's really been phenomenal.
Isn't it interesting to be somewhere? That's for me when I travel someplace that English is not the first language. I love just being immersed in a completely different language. My favorite thing to do anywhere in the world is to sit and stare at people talking to each other in a different language. I could people watch all day long. Isn't it fascinating?
It is, but we really haven't had a chance to do that yet, so we
Oh,
haven't
you
had.
will. Yeah, you will. So let's have you talk about what you experienced on a more spiritual level, because the trip was physically arduous and interesting from like a cultural point of view. But
So
what
many things.
about, pardon?
So many things, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us about that.
One of the things I noticed is like it seemed we were endlessly walking through vineyards on both sides, vineyards everywhere. That was really interesting. And then there are times when you're just out in the middle on this road and it's hot and the sun's beating down, lots of up and down. There was one time on one of the rough days, it's getting late in the day, and we see the trail ahead and it splits. There's one that goes up and there's one that kind of goes straight. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't tell me we're going up that hill. I can't do another hill today. And we got there and the sign was on the flat side, and I burst out singing hallelujah.
I was going to ask you, did you cry at any point on the trip?
I felt like it a couple times, but more singing and joy because the people were so amazing. Being out in nature, just letting go of all of your cares and woes. Your total focus is on what you're doing. It's an out-of-body experience.
Did you feel that maybe, without going into any details, of course, but anything related to like political environments or global environments that were weighing on your shoulders when you left? And did you feel that that was
Well,
gone
I let that go, but
already?
you've met David and he talks about it constantly. So anytime he would meet somebody from another country, he would apologize for what's going on and how we're affecting them. And then he would launch into comparisons about the healthcare systems. He's obsessed with that. So it was
He's
impossible.
right. Yeah.
But I think for the people he's meeting, they don't care so much about that. Let's just meet as people and let all that stuff go. But that's not who he is. So my experience was shaded by, his interests.
Did you mentioned the horseshoe as a sign? For me, it's a sign. What about other signs? Spiritual signs? What about numbers? What about synchronicities? What about weather changes that can't be explained, rainbows.
No, we didn't see rainbows. We had
Okay.
rain one day, and that was the day that we went into Twee, and you have to go up this cobblestone steep thing to get to the cathedral. So we go all the way up to the cathedral. We're dragging our suitcases. We're wearing our rain ponchos. And we were hoping we could drop our bags there because somebody had said you can drop your bags and they'll Sherpa them ahead. We got up there. The cathedral can't help with the bags. They sent us across the street to a shop. The guy looks at us. No, too late. We do that in the morning. You must reservation. So there we go, leaving Twee, going down the cobblestones now. Still dragging our suitcases. I hit a slick spot and I went splat, sliding down the cobblestones, mashed my elbow, pulled my quads. So I'm starting the journey with now already an injury. But what happened? This is really the miracle part of it too. I said, listen, angels, you got to help me here because I'm in a lot of pain and I want to keep going. So if you want me to keep going, you've got to find a way to relieve this pain. And you know, it wasn't a half an hour before I just didn't notice it. I mean, my elbow was still sore from the bruise I got, but at the time I wasn't feeling the pain. It was like they gave me a painkiller or something. I don't know what they did.
So you had at a minimum 2 miracles.
Well, then there was later, I have an old hip injury. And at that point, it was being aggravated and it was starting to hurt. And I said, okay, got to do something about this hip or I can't keep going. And again, the pain faded.
God.
So
I mean, what are the odds of all 3?
Well, I think the lesson there is the angels always say, ask for help when you need it.
That's true.
We can't help if you don't ask. So I could have just sucked it up and kept going, limping along, and created more problems by limping.
Well, you could have offered it up for the souls in purgatory. That's what I was always told to do when I was a child. I complain, to my mother, I hurt, something. Offer it up for the souls in purgatory.
Okay. I didn't have to because the angels took care of it.
So did you see anybody get
miracle? Ask for a miracle.
Just ask for help.
Ask for a miracle, and you will get. No matter what your situation is, I always heard that. Ask for a miracle. I remember one time I was like in a real knot, a complete predicament. I went to see a psychic, an intuitive advisor, and I remember her very, very well. And she hadn't started put her cards. What's your situation? I just said. She looks at me and she said, have you asked for a miracle? I said, no. And she looks at me.
Changes everything.
I remember this moment like it was yesterday. And it's true.
It really is. People forget that or they don't trust it.
It feels too, it's hard. It's at the end of the day, the key word is trust.
Yes.
Trust. If you ask for a miracle, but you don't trust, you might not get. You have to really believe.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm struggling with that daily because part of me keeps saying, when is the noise going to come back?
Oh, that's not good.
I know, and I keep stopping it, and
you know what that's
grateful,
called?
That's doubt.
That's called manifesting your fears.
Yeah, because I have it for so long, so I have to keep assessing, reinforcing that I am so happy.
I am healed. I almost as a mantra. I am healed. I am better. You have to really practice that, but that's where the mental challenge with all this light worker.
It is cool. You know what's really cool? I have some validation. Before I left home, my ENT, that's an ear, nose, and throat doctor, had said to me, you might want to look into getting AirPods because AirPods have a built-in hearing test. And I had said to her, my hearing goes up and down. Some days I can hear better than others. Some days I'm deaf. And I can't prove it because when I go for a test, it's whatever it is.
Yes.
And so they've had trouble adjusting the hearing aids because it keeps changing. So you bet I grabbed those hearing aids or those AirPods and I did the test. So I had a baseline number before I left. And then along the way, I've tested again and the numbers show the hearing has changed.
So your miracle is scientifically proven.
Yes.
Well, when you talk about sometimes you hear better than other times, and now you're hearing well. to me, it feels like the air pressure in the airplane affected the air pressure in your eustachian tubes.
Yes. Yes, but here's the thing. When I went to Costa Rica in February, got on the plane, the air pressure did affect them. For 8 days, I could hear without my hearing aids, and then it all came back. Which is why I have to keep reminding myself, because it's like, okay, how long is this one going to last? But this one was in conjunction with being faithful, walking the Camino, doing the work, allowing the healing and receiving it.
And that's what made the difference.
Yes.
But it
'Cause now-
provides you with information. If it does come back, you've got two examples of it being improved by a change in air pressure. So
Yes.
that gives them something to work with to figure out which is really a positive thing, you know. to
Yes,
let-
and I wrote to my doctor already and told her that. I said, you know, you guys ought to be looking into what therapies you can do using something simulating the
Yeah.
pressure. Now, when I flew to Florida, I did not get any change. So I concluded that that small puddle jumper plane didn't have a pressure like the big.
you weren't in there long enough, maybe. You know, it was too short.
A few hours, but I think the pressure is different. The altitude is certainly different between
Is
those
it different?
classifications of planes. Yeah.
We can read on that.
Yeah,
On
anything
the
that
pressure?
Well, no, how did that healing come about? What do the spirits have to say about you healing?
Yeah, anything you can get is helpful, because there are many people in our community who are suffering with
That's
similar things.
True.
And part of it is ascension symptoms, but some of it's not. We had a guy last night. Nate came on with me live last night, and we had somebody who showed up
Yes.
who mentioned having the tinnitus.
Well, and I've had a few problems with this right ear this year, but at the same time, I've been being more clairaudient.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually when I hear from clairaudience, it's always the right ear.
Yeah. Well, you know, one
So go
comment
figure.
I got from the angels, I didn't want to believe it, but they were like, we are trying to communicate these things to you, and you are not listening enough. And so this is a way
To get your
to
attention.
get your attention. Hello. And they said to me, don't worry about not being able to hear us, because you don't need your ears to hear us.
True. Well,
On the-
Baba Vanya didn't need to see to be clairvoyant.
Yeah.
On the trail itself, did you see anybody have to be carted off from hyperthermia or exposure or, you know, exhaustion?
It was warm, so that wasn't the case. No, most of the people were prepared.
Well,
And
that's what I
again,
mean. Too hot. Too hot.
there were no places to stop. What I did see is they stopped frequently at these little cafes for beer. And I'm like, how are they drinking all this beer and still hiking? Because
Yeah, that's bad.
you're right. But that was the thing. And everybody expected you were going to just stop and have a beer. And I
Well,
don't know,
maybe just a small, I think.
No, they
it's
were like-
fine. Yeah.
bottles and, you
Yeah.
know,
Well, that's dehydrating, though. That's not a good idea.
it was working for them.
Oh well. Who knows? So if you die on the Camino, do you automatically get sainthood? Is that some sort of like spiritual? I'm sort of kidding, but not really. I mean, is it like a
You might
a
become
sacrifice?
You become part of the legend. There are people who have died, and if you watch the movie with Martin Sheen, that was the thesis of it, that the character's son had done the French Camino, and he died on the first day.
Oh.
And so his father then came with his ashes, wanting to bring his ashes back there, not knowing he was going to walk the Camino himself. But as he was there and he talked to people and learned about it, he was drawn in, and he decided to take his son to Santiago in the little box.
What happened to his son?
Exposure. He wasn't properly prepared. He was all by himself. He's going up the Pyrenees and
Oh, that's
snowstorm. And
That's a lot.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, you know, Martin Sheen's really religious in real life.
yeah.
He's
Well,
Catholic. Yeah.
Emilio Estevez wrote it and was the producer, director. It was a whole package deal.
Must be convenient to have all the different, aspects of filmmaking in your family. Makes
Yeah,
it,
and if you watch the credits, you see a lot of people with the Estevez name who were part of it.
yeah, that's a crack up. It's really good. So when you got done, you ended up where?
In the square at the Santiago Cathedral, the St. James Cathedral. There's a
Is that a
big
big,
square,
big town or?
huge. And when you come walking in, there's like this almost like a tunnel that you
Uh,
go through, and there's a guy playing bagpipes in there. And if you watch the videos about the Camino, you always get greeted by the bagpiper. So that was
Oh,
really cool to be
yeah,
there.
yeah.
kind of like
With
the
the
end of a marathon. You didn't have to break a tape or anything, right? You just.
You just wander in.
Now that would be the place if you were a business owner. That would be the place to have a cafe with a bathroom and cold drink. I mean, think about that. That would be the
They
spot.
do everywhere
I'm
because
sure. Yeah.
you're part of the city to get there. And yeah, there's cafes over.
Oh, so it's kind of a big industry for that area, right?
Oh yeah, they had, I think over 30,000 people have already done it this year.
Oh my
It's
oh,
huge.
oh,
Oh my
They keep
God.
numbers, they keep track. Because when you check in with them,
you get a stamp.
you
You
get, yeah.
yeah.
And as you go on the Camino, we didn't talk about that. They have the little pilgrim passport that you get. So we got ours in Twi, even though we really started in Portugal, but we got it in Twi. So every day you've got to get a minimum of 2 stamps to prove that you actually did the walk. So when you get to Santiago, you show them that passport and then you get your credentials.
It's like your
So what's
parking.
next, Deborah? Are you going to do another challenge like that?
I have no idea. If the angels ask me to,
Yeah.
you bet I will, but I don't know.
I'm glad your angels are not my angels because there's just no way I would know. I'm being serious. I admire you and I'm fascinated by the whole thing, but
Well,
I'm glad I don't have to do it.
they
Pardon?
wouldn't ask you because it's not part of who you are. They don't
Correct.
ask us things that we can't do.
Oh yeah, they do. All the time.
Not mine.
Well, I have
Oh,
to say, you guys are talking about miracles. I have to tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking if I believed that, I'd be 6 feet tall, I'd be blonde, and I'd be a multimillionaire.
it's not about the outside. It's really about your spiritual life. It's never
No, I
about.
know that. I'm
Yeah, I know. I
joking.
know.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But I
So,
might want to do another one, but I would probably do shorter days. I would maybe take days in between. If we hadn't had the goal of ending up there on our anniversary, we would have stretched it out and done it longer. So then we had to stop and think, how important is it really to do that? And ultimately it felt important, so we did it.
well,
But
next year is your 40th, right?
39. And the angel number 39 is very consequential because I was thinking we'll do it next year for the 40th. And then the angel's like, no, 39 is really important.
Well, that's
So,
what I was saying. Next year is your 40th,
yeah,
right? So you should just climb Everest.
that doesn't appeal to me at all. No.
I wanted to ask, considering that you have your own community, YouTube channel, etc., etc. Have you been reporting back every day or every other day, or
Not,
gave message along the
not
way? Where
every
did
day.
you, but along the path?
Yeah, I send a newsletter every Sunday. So
Oh,
I was giving them details in the newsletter, but because I'm on mobile, I was limited in what I could do because you can't do everything, so it was limited. But I will be sending them more information. At some point, I'll put together a video with pictures and talking about more of it. But truly, while you're doing it, there's no time for that. You're so
no.
exhausted by the time you finish. It's like have some dinner and go to sleep. There's not a lot of time for the extras. I barely had time to do a little filming here and there.
Were
Well,
you
I
just
can't wait.
out of curiosity, you had Wi-Fi in those hotels? Were you keeping up with like emails and stuff, or you decided to let
No,
that go?
I checked the email every day just to make sure there was
Yeah.
nothing, crucial. But yeah, I did because I had the eSIM. Plus, there was every hotel had Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, you're booking those hotels almost at the last minute. I started booking them a couple days ahead once we figured out the rhythm. And
so it was not all planned out.
no, not at all. Everything was spur of the moment kind of thing. And for the most part, they were nice. We did not stay in the albergues, the hostels, because we were not into, dormitory living. So we had private rooms, but we had one that was kind of a quasi hostel. They had a community room where I actually did a meditation. I was able to do that in that room, which was amazing. But the shower, David has talked about this endlessly. It was so tiny you could barely get in there. And then the spigot was down like for a 4'9" person or something.
Oh.
So it was a little uncomfortable, but the rest of the places we stayed were very nice, private apartments, many of them. Some had laundry, so we could do our laundry, because you're only schlepping 2 or 3 days worth of clothes with you. You don't want more than that because it's more weight to carry on your back. So having laundry along the way was very helpful.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to write your book so I can have you on my channel to talk about your book. I just feel really you should do that. I just think it would be so interesting. So interesting. Not to put any pressure on you or anything, but
well, like I said, I've got 2 weeks coming up where I'm going to have the time to focus and think about it. And I would like to write a book, but I don't know if there's enough material for that. So we'll see.
Well, you've already written a book. You've written 3 books, right?
4.
That I'm aware of.
Who's counting?
What's that?
4, but who's counting?
Yeah, I think I'm aware of 3. Am I aware of 4?
Yeah, I sent them all to you.
One of them is I lost count. Pardon?
Yeah. One of them is a workbook that goes with the 21-day meditation challenge.
That's it. Yeah. No, and I did a drawing for those. People were very excited after we covered them. I covered them on my channel, and then I gave them as presents to people. So I don't know if you heard back from anybody that did the meditation thing. The whole workbook thing. Yeah, the process, I guess you'd call it. I was going to ask you I know what I was going to ask you. What has been your favorite meal since you got off the airplane?
Yeah, well, I'm a little picky about food because I consider myself a foodie. So I've been disappointed with French fries showing up with all the meals. That's because I had sworn off French fries. They're so bad for you. But when that's part of your meal, you just go with it. We went to a lovely place in Porto where I got this amazing duck, and it had this side dish of something with sweet potatoes that was just really delicious. And David had a mushroom risotto that was really wonderful. And the other night here in Lisbon, we went to a place where I got a beef tenderloin, which was excellent. Very nice, tender. And that unfortunately came with French fries, but it had a side of some vegetable thing that was like shredded cabbage and carrots, and so delicious.
Well, don't they do pommes frites? Isn't that how you say it, Nate? They're very thin.
Not here.
Not real thin. No, I like
not
those.
Not here.
Yeah, you're making me hungry. Yeah. So what was if you had to pick the one sort of cultural thing that struck you as very different, or you didn't understand it, or, just stood out?
Wow. I don't know. I'll get back to you with that one. At the moment, I can't think. There's so much.
Yeah.
Well,
for me,
it's too fresh.
The blue motel that I told you about, I think that was stand out.
Yeah, for me in Rome, it was 100% the people on their knees going up and down the stairs. That blew my mind. And the other thing was is it Turin? Yeah, Turin, the Shroud of Turin. We went to Torino to see the archaeological museum, and right kind of across the way, I guess, because I didn't go, there's some kind of cathedral church situation, and you can go in and see the Shroud of Turin. But when I found out it was $20, I said, I can see it in a book. I'm not going to pay to see it. Yeah, I don't know how popular it was because, as I said, we didn't go around to like the entrance or anything. Yeah, but
Well,
I
there were
definitely the people in. Pardon?
many beautiful little churches and cathedrals along the way that some of them were just so amazing what was there. The intricacy, the architecture, all the detail. That was kind of mind-blowing. But I guess going to Finisterre probably, because that was a little unexpected, you know. That's it's somewhere around, I think, 50 miles from Santiago, but it's actually the end of the Camino. And there you get and you find the 0 kilometer stone marker. And there was something that was profound about that. And so thankfully some tourists took a picture of David and I with the stone tower, because there are very few pictures of me, because when he takes a picture of me, he cuts off my head every time. It's like he aims it, and then when he pushes the button, he drops it or something.
Well,
So
what's he aiming at? Naughty boy. I mean,
he's just not good with handling the phone and being able to push the button. He's impossible with that. So I got a lot of pictures of him schlepping along the trail. But the kind tourists took our picture, so we got that. And
so are you more of a, you're better at remembering to take pictures? I never remember to take pictures. My husband is the camera nut. I don't have the patience for it. When we first got together, you know, that was before cell phones, a long time before cell phones. Yeah. And if you were really into photography, it required lenses and gadgets. And oh my God, it used to drive me absolutely insane. Everywhere we went, always started with me standing beside the car in a parking lot waiting for him to get his equipment together. I don't have the patience for that, you know. I like this little disposable cameras. You just take a picture, get it over with. Yeah, but if you're into it, you're into it.
Yeah. I'm not into it in that respect, but I wanted to record special moments along the way, so I did take quite
yeah, that was
really one of the things I've taken the most pictures of are these steep uphill and downhill things, because they just are blowing my mind. They're everywhere.
But that's good. That'll be good in your book. It'll help people to know what to expect.
Well, it's especially bad in Lisbon. I don't know how much you walk around out there, but it's like uphill, downhill, all around the town. You're constantly.
It's like San Francisco. It's up and down, up and down. Yes.
And isn't Paris a little bit like that too?
No,
okay.
Not to that. No, this is very hilly here. Very, very hilly. And also, same as San Francisco, lots of earthquakes, energy.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, since we're on comparisons, the bridge here is the replica of the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, when did they build it?
Same architect. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's really interesting. Yeah. Did they build it after or before?
I don't know. It's a little bit smaller in size. What's also interesting is on the other side of the bridge, you also have the Christ, like in Brazil, like in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
So you have both.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it is very interesting. But yeah, lots of the pavement is very in the winter or when it rains, very, very slippery.
Yeah.
Nate, do you get confused sometimes? Like, where am I? What city am I in? You know? But I thought I saw the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah. Well, when I send photos, I take photos and I on purpose want to confuse people. So if I put on social media, it's like, oh, are you in San Francisco? No.
It's evil. That is evil.
Yes.
The thing I noticed right away when we went into Porto, that's where we flew into.
Yeah.
Is the houses with the clay tile on the side of the hill. And I'm like, what are we in Greece? Because all the pictures I've seen of Greece, that's what they look like. And I had no idea that's what it was here.
Are we talking the red tile roofs like in California?
The orange clay tile.
Yeah. Isn't that actually Moorish?
I don't know. We have them in France too. Yeah.
From the Moors, you know, they took over all Spain and Portugal, you know, before they were liberated from them. Yeah. I like that Moorish architecture. The missions in California, basically. That's the style. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to read a card.
Yes. I have been warming them up.
Yes.
So what's the first question? Well, as a guest, I want to give you an opportunity to ask a question.
What's at the end of the yellow brick road?
The Emerald City. Oh, was that a rhetorical question?
Well, no, because when we're walking the Camino, we were following the yellow arrows over the cobblestones. So there was kind of
really?
similarity. Yeah, yellow arrows are how you find where you're going. And David kept talking about it as the yellow brick road. And it's like symbolically the journey.
Yeah.
What's the crux of it?
The point. What's the point of it, right? What you mean? In your honor, I'm using my Inspiration of the Angels.
Oh, cool.
I should have used my own deck, but that will be for the next question. The first card is the High Priestess. So right off the bat, it has to deal with spirituality, right? You see the two moons, you see the hidden knowledge, and like this gigantic moon, High Priestess. This is a spiritual experience. I don't need to tell you that, but they tell us that. The Knight of Wands, which is forward movement and going for something, a lot of energy in this card. So this is interesting because it creates a contrast. The High Priestess is static. This is a movement. And so it's a reminder that your spirituality, while this is something internal, you also have to put it out there in the physical world. And then the Nine of Wands, in this card, you see a person has a handicap, physical handicap. It's about healing. So there's something about this journey that is not just spiritual, something that you conduct in the real world, but it's asking you a question. Yes, you talked about those miracles. You also talked about healing quite a few times, 3 times.
Yeah.
So sorry for being a little bit, what's the word? When we always say that the journey is the destination, but it was about healing.
In large part.
It was about healing. The 3 examples you gave were healing.
And the big lesson from the angels recently has been about the self-indulgence, the self-care. So even though I went on the journey knowing that it would be something that came forth that I shared with other people, it was first and foremost for me.
Of course. Yes. What did you get, Helen?
The first card I got was the Knight of Swords, and I get the impression of moving towards a gaining of knowledge, looking for truth, an active looking for truth. And then I got the Hierophant, inner wisdom, the Star. You're basically on a journey to accumulate more knowledge and experience that grows your inner wisdom, your understanding of larger things, your place in the cosmos, basically. And I also got the Three of Cups, and I do think it's a sense of satisfaction at having completed it. That fact itself of doing it is an accomplishment, and you definitely are feeling that. Interesting cards.
Well, with the Three of Cups, it's also a reminder that you really need to do an act of celebration. If you
I thought that's what this was.
Well, it is,
Yes,
but
in a way.
in a way, I think there might be other ways.
Like what?
Well, it's very private, I assume, so I wouldn't, but I think in your own way, in your own soul, you have to find a way to celebrate. Let's get to another question here. Maybe I'll ask the question.
Yes, you ask the question.
spirits, can you please give us more information regarding the miracle healings that actually happened along the Camino, particularly the ears?
Yeah. And to me, that translates into peace in my brain.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting.
Go ahead if you want.
Shall I go? Okay. So I got the Eight of Swords, which is starting out the process. You were hoping for some kind of healing situation, breaking free of the constraint of the issues, right? I got the Page of Cups, well, Page of Chalices, Page of Cups, starting out on a new path. This process of doing this journey was kind of an answer to that emotional situation that you were in, because I could definitely see that you were becoming emotionally weighed down by the physical situation. Absolutely. This is so cool, the Three of Swords reversed, the end of suffering and pain, and then the Ace of Cups, once again, like the beginning of something new. This is a feeling of relief, a feeling of happiness, healing. So I do think that this was a process that released you from that difficult situation that was burdening you. I don't know if I got any answers about where it came from, but it seems like maybe this was the purpose.
You did, Helen. Show the Page of Cups cards.
Portugal.
Those are Francisco, Lucia, and Jacinta. And what did they see? A miracle?
Fatima.
The Virgin Mary will appear to them. That's actually a card of miracle itself.
That was in Portugal too.
And in Portugal. Yeah. And it's it's a validation of the miracle. I mean, you couldn't have gotten better confirmation than that.
True. But what I didn't think I got information about was like how, because there's no way to know that. Yeah.
We're not supposed to know. Five of Swords, this is a sneaky thing that was going on with you. You were feeling, you have to pull back from life because of this.
Yeah. It was debilitating.
Yeah.
The Page
it was getting really heavy for you, more than you were even talking about. Yeah.
It was hard to continue functioning with that level.
The Page of Staff, look at that. Look at his wings. This is the angel. That was
Are those wings on the bull or on the person?
I feel on the person.
Who is it? Which saint is it? Does it say?
It's not Luke.
Because they're low, like they're on the bull.
But I see wings of an angel. So this is also an angelic intervention. And then the King of Coins. What is very interesting with that is the first thing you see is coins. Why money? Why abundance? Well, remember that in the tarot, coins are health. Oh. And so, yes.
Anything physical. Yeah.
And so basically, the angelic intervention to give you abundance in your health.
Fascinating. I didn't know that.
Yeah. See little twists and turns here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's easy to get distracted by the coin and think about it just as being money, but it's physical. It's anything like earthly power.
The Knight of the fourth card was the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, there's an offering. You see, this cup is offered to you, and so it's an opportunity. And, I mean, and look at this, the white horse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that must mean something to you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful horse for one thing, but he's carrying bread.
Yes, a loaf of bread. So, I mean,
It's continuing the journey.
it's, yeah.
A lot of cups. You got cups, I got a lot of cups.
Yep. Yes.
Well, that's a big part of my mission, is bringing the love from the angelic to the people so that they feel it and they can trust it.
But I think also it's a great emotional release for you. I think this whole process has been an unloading of the burden, lifting of the burden, and lightening your spirit and your feeling. Yeah.
With the cups, this is completely out there, so pardon me, but sometimes it's fun. With the cups, you have the notion of fluid. Was there any fluids in your ear?
Not that I feel, but that's what they say it is.
That's what I was getting, because cups got me to what fluids. I feel you had a fluids.
The vertigo is caused by excess fluid that
aggravates. The eustachian tubes. That's your that's the pressure.
Had an excess, all those cups, an excess fluid that with whatever.
But it's in the brain, so it's not like they can drain it. That's the problem.
Well, that's what the miracle happened.
Well, there's a little bit more to this that neither one of you know. I got a brain MRI before I went, because my doctor finally is like, you're hearing all this stuff in your brain, and I'm listening to you. Finally, somebody's listening to me. We need to do a brain MRI just to see what's going on in there. When that MRI results came back, it had white spots all over my brain that indicate I've been having like mini strokes, which I was totally unaware of, not feeling anything. And I have not had a doctor yet explain it to me, but I have this feeling like the angels worked this out for me to get the MRI before I had my miracle healing, because if I get another one later, it's going to be different. Is that asking too much? That's what I feel.
Will you see a different MRI?
What's the purpose otherwise? Because the guy I was supposed to see in August has already canceled my appointment.
8 of Cups, moving away from all this. So there will be a shift. There will be a change. 8 of Cups is moving away.
I just feel like nobody in all the years, because I've had this condition for 40 years, not in both ears. That was just recent. But nobody ever did a brain MRI in all this time. I had brain surgery years ago because it was so bad. I was debilitated.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Why did the guy cancel your appointment?
I don't know, because it happened while I was away. So I'm not going to worry about it. When I get back, I'll check with them and find out, am I seeing somebody else? What's going on? I think it might be because they're changing things with healthcare and they're cutting back.
Oh.
That it could be, but for crying out loud, I had the MRI. Somebody please explain it to me. I had AI explain it to me. That's how I know what some of that stuff was about.
That's probably better. Surely,
okay.
Yeah.
But nobody knows that part of the story. And I feel like that's an important component here as proof.
Well, you have scientific evidence. You said just from the pods. Let's just go there.
Are you going to ask for another MRI when you get home?
Well,
for
my
comparison
already mentioned possibly doing another one. I'm not quite sure what the justification will be and whether insurance will pay for it. But if there's something that they notice that's different, then maybe. I don't know.
That's going to be really interesting. Really interesting.
Well, it was kind of really a big downer for them to tell me that, you're having mini strokes and your brain is deteriorating. Essentially, that's how I interpreted it. But
I mean, like, look at, in Fatima, in Lourdes, in France, where the Virgin Mary appeared, they are documented miracles. Like, I'm not kidding, like documented, and they're very picky. In the, like, you need so many doctors. And doctors are not easy to approve, and they are documented miracles. And that's also why a lot of people are challenged health-wise go there. I feel like that my personal belief is that if your faith is so strong then yes, I think it can cure you.
Yeah. Well,
It's about your faith.
I have clarity in my brain that I haven't had in a year. And I think I told Nate this. I used to watch YouTube videos on double time because
Yes.
I was consuming a lot of content, and you can get through more at double time, and I could understand it. But since this thing has happened, I had to put it on one because I couldn't understand the words. And even on one, I had to use closed captions. My brain was not processing as efficiently as it used to. Guess what? I can listen at 2.0 again.
Oh my God.
You know, I think it's important to remember that these sorts of tests are, relatively speaking, new. Not MRIs, not new, but still new. And one of the things about a lot of advanced technology in that field is that they don't have something to compare it to from the past,
Yeah.
you know? So who's to say that this is a variation on normal? They don't know. They're looking at one isolated vision. And what do they have to go by? How many studies have they done with a significant population of people, with results from the past, results now, and how they're doing? They don't have that. So they can't make a lot of conclusions. And so my point would be, who's to say it's not a variation on normal? That lots of people have had this situation for centuries. You know, this has happened, but there's no way to document it because the techniques didn't exist. Who knows? Meaning that one result may not be, it's isolated. You have, you know, it stands alone, so you can't draw conclusions from it at all. Not really. Yeah. My grandmother died of an aneurysm, like right near her chamber of her heart. And she was in her late 70s. And the doctor said after the fact, she was born with that. She had that her entire life. She could have died an hour after birth. You know, you can't make assumptions or draw conclusions from one bit of information.
Mhm.
So it'll be really interesting if you have another one done. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep you posted.
It's interesting. Yeah, please do. I think it's really interesting. So do we have
I'm
another?
looking forward to going back and having just an appointment with my ENT so we can talk
Yeah.
about this, and she can see
Yeah.
herself, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm really hopeful that they'll pay attention and start listening to what the patients are telling them and maybe figure out how to fix this thing, because it's been around forever and they don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Wonder if anybody's doing studies that you could get involved in, you know, specific to that
If they
issue.
do, they never mentioned it. And having it in both ears is not a normal thing. So
Yeah.
that puts you in a smaller category of people already. So I don't know. But when I first got it, I would have an attack and I would be spinning
Oh.
so fast that I would faint because my body would be in overload and it would just shut down and I would just fall. So I tell my doctor this. That's not one of the symptoms of Meniere's. Well, then I just started fainting for no reason when I'm dizzy. Never fainted before. Now, doctors, they ask you if you faint because it's one of the symptoms of the disease.
Oh.
Because doctors don't listen.
And they don't know. They don't call it practicing medicine for, you know, for no reason. I always keep that in the back of my mind. They just, it's less about answers, definitive answers, as it is about trying things. Try this, try that, try that. And then whatever works, right?
So here's a question for you guys. This started 40 years ago when I was in my 20s. That's when it first started. I have wondered, was that the beginning of my spiritual awakening?
Ascension.
And I had no idea that's what it was because I wasn't conscious of a spiritual ascension back then. But it feels like there's a through thread, you know?
Yes.
Like it's all
Yeah.
connected.
It does.
It's certainly part of your ascension as an
That's a
ascendant.
heck of a long ascension.
It's well, and there's more to come.
Yeah.
Well, time has no meaning. You know, our perception of time is irrelevant. Of course, you have to go through it day by day, but
That the transition, her ascension, the transition, Six of Swords. So it's an ongoing
Wheel of Fortune.
same thing.
Part of your karmic thing. Yeah. Yeah. The Empress. That's pretty good. I think it is an elevation, you know, a metamorphosis.
Yeah.
Kind of part of your incarnation this time around.
Yeah. Well, it's important because there's a lot of people who are suffering, as I said earlier, with similar things. And we can offer them hope that this is part of that process and you are going to come through it. It's not going to be like this forever. The hope is so important.
Yeah. And I don't know if you heard about the fact that I've heard this a lot, that people are aware of energy or a background noise, not in their head necessarily, but just in the zeitgeist, in the ether, you know, that there are a large number of people who are experiencing some thing that's nameless because it's impossible to describe, but it's a sense of energetic change, I guess. Some people actually hear it, and a lot of people definitely feel it. Have you been hearing about that?
Yeah, people are talking about having like an out-of-body experience, maybe losing time or feeling like they shifted into another timeline. Things just being different.
Yeah, I know somebody who had one of those experiences that it's complicated, but it had to do with talking on the phone with somebody who wasn't there. You know, it's complicated. They're alive. It wasn't one of those kind of conversations, but you know, had this lengthy conversation with family members on a holiday, and then later on they called and they were in a completely different state and had never left that state. And no, we didn't talk to you earlier. And she had a lengthy conversation with several family members. How weird is that?
Yeah, it reminds me of those stories of people, they go through some sort of coma and they wake up and they speak a whole different language. Like it's actually more common than we think. They're American and they wake up and they speak Japanese. And they never spoke ever a word of Japanese.
I think those are walk-ins. I think when they were in the coma, they died and another soul walked in.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I did a book called The Search for Om Seti, and it was about a little girl in England. And this is a long time ago. It's been a long time since I read the book too. I want to say 30s or 40s maybe. And when she was about 8 or 9, she fell down the stairs and they declared her dead. The doctor came to the house. She was declared dead. A couple of hours later, she woke back up and she could speak ancient Egyptian. She could read hieroglyphics. She knew about the history of certain places in Egypt and the religion, like the ceremonial stuff. There was an archaeological dig, just a building. They had no idea what it was. She went to Egypt as a young woman, like late teens, early 20s, and said, I know what this is. I was here in another life. I was a priest in this building. It's a temple. And as they dug it out, she was able to read the hieroglyphics. And sure enough, it was a temple to this god. And she lived there the rest of her life and you know, was sort of the docent or something of this complex, this religious complex. How weird is that? Ancient Egyptian. I mean, it would have been handier if she was from England. If she could have spoken French, it would have made her life easier. How many times do you have a conversation in ancient Egyptian? It's a fascinating book. I should cover that again because it was so interesting.
Yeah, that would be a good follow-up. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should have a conversation with her. Is she still alive?
I don't think so. No, because I think it's been a really long time since I read the book. I have it downstairs. I think her prime of her career was 60s and 70s. So I doubt very much that she's still alive. I could look it up. But it's fascinating. And she was really admired by experts in Egyptology and archaeology. She was the real thing. She wasn't pretending, and they were able to kind of fact check her for a lot of things. And yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. How about people who come out of a coma and they have a foreign accent?
Mm-hmm.
You hear that all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's a story about Mary Steenburgen. I don't know if you heard that. She had surgery. And, she's an actress. She's married to Ted Danson. We've seen her around. After surgery, she came out hearing music in her head. Wasn't there before. She didn't know what to do about it. And finally, she resolved, well, if it's there, maybe I should start writing it down.
Oh.
And so she became a composer. And all this stuff is flowing through her.
What does her music sound like?
I don't know. I didn't hear it. I just read the story.
That's apparently really interesting.
Interesting.
Really.
Yeah.
Oh, so I did Lenormand cards for you. And Nate's going to interpret them. So, foreign trip, but also spiritual journey, because look what else I got.
Yep.
And then I don't know what this means. It's career, business, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's also a form of control over management, over something, control over success. She got control over her, over whatever it was.
Whatever. And remember the cards I did, I got the star for you. Look. Stars.
Yeah, the stars. Yeah.
Definitely like a cosmic spiritual journey.
Anything. Yeah.
Well, I think the bear is probably about strength.
True. As simple as that. And it's actually the muscles too.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do we have any other questions?
I think we're good.
I think so. Feels complete.
Yeah.
So how would you summarize it? Your experience?
Fulfilling, satisfying. And the biggest thing I came out of it with, at this moment at least, is that for those people who want to do it, go do it with one of those tour companies where they drive you between the stops. You still get to have the experience. Nobody says you have to walk it. You can bicycle it. You can ride a horse. If you bicycle, you have to do 200 kilometers. Horse is probably similar. But there are so many ways to do it. And so many people, it was their heart's desire. It was their bucket list. And they've given up on that dream. They don't have to. You've just got to be flexible in how you do it.
And creative.
Yeah.
You have to be flexible in more ways than one.
And get to Portugal and meet Nate.
Well, that's certainly a plus. The
says with all humility.
You could open up a little hostel at the end of the Camino.
But if you expand what you were saying, I think it expands to much more in terms of whatever dream you have. It's always achievable.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have the dream if you couldn't do it.
They would, and so you just have to be creative to find ways.
And flexible. Don't be rigid. Now's the time to be flexible.
Look outside the box. Find other solutions. Who can help you? Have you asked for a miracle? If you haven't even done your work.
Well, that's all good advice. I guess that's all the questions I have for you, Deborah. But I've got a long list of people you and I have to.
Oh, well,
I've
we
been
will.
I've been keeping a list.
Okay.
I'm translating, lots of homework coming your way. So
Well, that's a beautiful thing. I don't have to do homework.
I know
I just
it's
show
lined
up
up.
and we do it.
Yes.
I know I get to. I tell you what, you guys, I won't spoil the surprise by telling who the case is about, but you know how Denise and I do the psychics and psychos, and we cover interesting anomalies in human behavior and mental health is what it's really about. We're not focusing on crimes. People sometimes think that. No, it's about what makes you tick, what makes your mind work. I've got a doozy coming up, an absolute doozy. It's just unreal. It's not the one that everyone is going to see next. I've got my end all prepared, and Denise and I have a date to get together, and then you and I are going to talk about it, whether you know that or not. And then we have a new case, and the new case is just crazy. It's really weird. I'll tell you about it.
Backstage.
Yes.
Yeah. So, thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you back all in one piece.
Thank you. And bye, everyone.
Bye.